Well, this morning, a child is recovering after police say they were hit by a car while getting on a school bus in North Haven.
Yeah, it happened yesterday morning right near Pool Road and St. John Street, and it's creating a lot of controversy in the town. Let's get right out to your reporter, Anna Stansfield. Anna, the community has had a lot to say about this case.
Yeah, good morning. That's right. So it happened right here yesterday morning, and since then it sparked quite the conversation online. People who live in the area say they're concerned to have seen something like this so close to their neighborhood, and the way police responded to those concerns is not something we see every day. The North Haven Police Department posted shortly after it happened, and about 150 people left comments with questions and concerns. Police explained that the driver involved stayed on the scene, cooperated with officers, and was issued an infraction for passing a school bus. Parents in the comments immediately started calling for more action, prompting a second post from police. And that one made just a few hours later. Police spoke candidly about what goes into an investigation like this, also explaining that the driver would have their license taken away too. They went on to say the driver involved is 89 years old, asking the community to have some empathy as they not only deal with the penalties at hand, but also come to terms with being involved in a traumatic event themselves. And in that second post, police also explained that they simply can't provide all of the details when it comes to an investigation like this out online. Some of the comments said they understood. Others said that they're still looking for more accountability in this case. As for the child who was hit by that car, police say they are expected to be okay. I'm your reporter live in North Haven, Anna Stansfield, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.